You know what old Jamie Carruthers says at a time like this? Get off your milk and drink your horse.
You're still listening. This is our final transmission.
We're here. It's me, Sam Russo. It's you, Jamie Carruthers. It's the Final Transmission podcast. It's one horror movie a week from the dawn of time until the end of time. Jamie, how are you?
I am great. It is 1 week till Halloween. One more week till Halloween. One more week till Halloween. Silver shingles.
You know the song.
You know it well. We're not doing Halloween 3 again, although I did threaten to do Halloween 3 every week in Halloween.
I'm so glad we're not doing Halloween 3 again. That's all I'm going to say.
We're doing a different film. But before we get into that, Sam, how are you? How are you?
Great. Absolutely top of the tree. Full of energy, vitality, well hydrated, moving in the right direction in life. What about you?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Good.
This week, as part of our Halloween season,
Halloween.
Halloween.
Pronounced.
Yeah, if you're Jewish, that's what you call it, right?
Halloween. Yep, perfect.
Yeah, we're doing what some people would consider a modern classic of the Halloween seasonal appropriate genre.
Already set dressing this stage in the podcast. Already giving us little hints.
People love it, and I don't quite know how it seeped into the public psyche so much, maybe through sheer force of merchandising. We're doing Mike Dougherty's Trick or Treat from 2007 or 2009, depending on if we go from production date, production year, or release year.
I have 07 in my comprehensive notes, and that's what I'm going with. This feels like a newer film than it is. It has a freshness to it, straight out the box. It doesn't feel like a movie from 07. Holy cow.
It's because it isn't green.
Yep.
It doesn't have shaky, whippy cuts.
True.
There's no juddery stuff. And there's also, it does a pretty...
Horror movies out in 2007. You got Number 23, The Hitcher, The Hills Have Eyes 2, the second remake or whatever.
Yeah.
Shit like Catacombs, Disturbia, Zodiac.
I low-key love Catacombs.
Yeah, I thought you might.
Obviously, anything with Shannon Sossaman in it, I'm there day one, regardless.
Mr. Brooks was 07. These are all
Mr.
movies
Brooks
that
rips.
don't look like this. Yeah, but it doesn't look like this, does it? This has a different patina, a different timbre entirely.
Yeah, I feel like this looks like almost timeless. It could have come out in 81. I mean, it couldn't because it's a little bit too self-aware.
Well,
but
there's a visual quality to it that, yeah, if you take away the sheen or, if you just look at it through the eyes of each decade, yeah, there's something in it that could easily transcend a long period of horror cinema.
We'll get into some detail in a minute, but it definitely is inspired by Creepshow, both in like the anthology format and the comic book approach.
Yep.
Weird that they do this comic booky thing. I don't quite understand it really.
It doesn't really play a part in the movie, does it? It just kind of happens as a transitional device, and that's about it. Interesting. Fine with me.
Yeah.
Not everything has to have, some big purpose. I think that's just a nice bit of fan service.
So Mike Dougherty has made 3 movies, directed 4 movies, 3 movies. I should probably pull this up and check properly before.
Krampus, Trick or Treat, Superman Return. Oh no, he wrote that. Wait.
He wrote that, yeah.
Yeah.
There was one, was it last year?
Godzilla, King of the Monsters?
Yeah, that was it. Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
2019.
No, that was not last year.
Yeah. So the last thing he did was Godzilla, King of the Monsters in 2019. Prior to that, we got Krampus in 2015. Yeah. Prior to that, you've got Trick or Treat Snowmen of 2012.
Yeah, so he did a bunch of shorts.
Yeah.
This is like his directorial debut, and also it took him 8 years to be allowed to make another film.
Be allowed to?
Well, I assume that he wanted to.
You think? He's got a very casual vibe. His IMDb page doesn't read like a man who wants to make many films.
I wonder if, obviously, he co-wrote Superman Returns
Yeah.
with, what's that guy called? Bryan Singer.
Right.
And Bryan Singer became persona non grata in Hollywood after a sexual abuse scandal.
Yep.
So I wonder if having his wagon hitched to old Singer
Yeah.
made him non-good.
Probably didn't do him any favors. Probably guilty by association type vibes. And I mean, who cares? More importantly, he directed this film.
He did.
And it feels like a labor of love. It feels like something that comes from a place of true love of the season in
Yeah.
the genre.
True love, as you might say if you were quoting Princess Bride.
Which,
Um,
which I'm not, but it's great that you did. I think that you've already said timeless, modern classic. We're already using a lot of big terms for this. This is, I'm going to go ahead and say, a cracking choice for the Halloween season.
yeah, I would say so. I'm gonna lay my cards on the table early doors, Sam.
Oh yeah, you got a
Like-
good hand, have you?
I don't love this movie.
Interesting.
I like it. I like it plenty fine, but I don't love it. And we'll get into some of the minutiae of why in a little bit. But I wanted to just sort of put that
Just
out
come
there.
clean.
I don't know quite why it became so instantly part of the Halloween vernacular. I mean, obviously it's very Halloween focused, Halloween forward, you might say.
Yeah.
But you know, it's flawed.
Sure.
There are a bunch of things that I do want to talk about. I want to talk about Warner's ceremoniously dumping it straight to DVD in 2009 rather than letting it go out in cinemas in 2007 as they originally planned.
Rude.
I wish I knew why.
Nobody does, it seems.
No. I remember I saw this at Fright Fest in 2009, and that was the first showing of it in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike Doherty telling the story of like what happened.
Oh, he was there.
Yeah. He was telling the
sick.
story of, I mean, at least that it happened, that it was like dumped straight to DVD and it was finally coming
Sure.
out and it had been sat on a shelf for 2 years. And John Landis was in the audience and just like screamed at the top of his voice, "Fuck Warners."
Whoa.
So that was
raucous applause, I'm sure.
yeah, absolutely. It was,
Can you imagine working that hard on something that takes so much time, effort, energy, and organization and having it sit for 2 fucking years? You're a different person 2 years later. I bet when it came out, he was just like, yeah, I don't even fucking care anymore. That's outrageous treatment of an artistic endeavor.
yeah, like we've seen some of that sort of thing happen more recently. There's a bunch of movies that have just been completely shelved and written off for tax purposes because they believe they would make more money on the tax write-off than they would on the movie actually coming out. Trick or Treat has a $12 million budget.
Which is, that has to be wrong. Like, how can that be right? $12 million for this extended episode of Creepshow. It's a Treehouse of Horror. It's not $12 million. Come on.
No, I don't know what Warners were thinking, being like, do you know what? We don't need that money back. We'll just release it on DVD. And fair dues, 2009,
Different world.
everybody was buying DVDs.
Yeah.
I think in the first 2 weeks of release, on like the digging through that I got, I think it sold maybe 170,000 copies.
I mean, that's free money. A DVD costs 0.0006p to manufacture at that level. That's money in your bank.
Yeah, so they probably made about 2 million back in like initial DVD release, but that's 10 million shy of the budget.
Yeah, and that's you're just writing it off for a loss, aren't you? Exactly like you said. If you're saying like, nope, no cinemas, nope, nothing, then you're just going to lose that money. A crazy move. There's nothing, I knew that happened just from a little bit of pre-reading, and I watched the movie quite closely, looking for the thing that I thought was the deciding factor in that decision. Maybe there's something really obvious in this film that makes me think, oh yeah, of course they didn't fucking want to go ahead with this. But there's not really. One thing.
I don't see it. I think maybe these things tend to happen around like regime changes in studios, and somebody high up being super into it, being replaced by somebody high up who thinks that you're a fucking useless piece of shit.
Thinks Halloween's for kids. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Bring me the next Hallmark movie.
And I guess time has proved them wrong because this movie endures.
Yeah, it really does seem to have found its audience, and I think that's in no small part because of streaming and because of the sort of cultural shift towards streaming lots of shit that is relevant to the time period or the sense of place that's in the zeitgeist in the moment. And in the Western world, that's fucking Halloween, baby. So a lot of people will just watch any old shit if it's in the Halloween section of a streaming platform. A lot of people curate their lead up to Halloween, even the post-Halloween period with a little come down, little pre-nog, little post-nog, Halloween style, little pre-pump, post-pump.
Up until around this point, we didn't have an awful lot of Halloween movies. I mean, we had a lot of Halloween franchise movies.
Too many.
But given that only 3 of them maybe at that point were good.
Yeah, rewatchable, yeah.
Yeah, then we didn't have loads of like Halloween movies. So like finding one that worked. Obviously, that tore ass through the culture.
Yeah.
And became
Cool.
Go on.
You just made a great point there. I don't know if you even realized you made it, but how fucking bad are so many of those Halloween movies compared to the first one? I know it's obvious, but like I could rewatch the first Halloween movie on a yearly basis around the season, ecstatically happy with every single moment of it. Like no complaints, not bored. A movie I've seen a billion times, not a care in the world, just sucking it up, really enjoying it. And it would be torturous to put me through any of the other movies more than once every 5 years. And there's movies in that series that I have never watched since the first time I watched it, and I'll never watch them again, deliberately in the bin. How fucking wrong do you have to go with a something so wonderful for that to be the fucking situation?
I don't know. I think it's bonkers.
I don't think they're criticized enough for this. I feel like this is something they need a real good hammering on. I can't wait till we start talking about the newer ones. That's going to be the absolute trial of my life to get through talking about those 3 movies with a consistent feeling. I just can't figure out how I feel.
I want to know sincerely who owns the merchandising rights for Trick or Treat. Because I bet all the money that they've ever made has been off the back of the merchandising. I want to know, because obviously it was a pre-existing Mike Doherty creation.
Was it? I didn't know.
It was,
that.
yeah.
From the shorts.
Yeah, so there was a short that he made prior called Season's Greetings, which had Sam in it. And I wonder if that means that he maybe retained ownership of Sam at least. And that's why Sam's did all the merchandising, or who knows, but
it's a ubiquitous little Halloween trinket. It's everywhere. Yeah. I've seen it at jumble sales. Like that little guy, and I didn't even know what he was for years. Yeah, you know, probably like a lot of people, but a real fan favorite, little fella.
We'll get into it later, but I think he might suck.
Interesting.
Do you want me to do a synopsis, Sam?
If you think you're up to it, bud, I'll leave it to. I'll give the little guy a go. I'll give the intern a spin at the synopsis. If you think you can impress a pro like me.
Well, all right. Why don't you do it then?
Nope. Absolutely not. He called my bluff.
I did, and it hung up.
If you want a job done right, Jamie, you're gonna have to do it yourself.
Trick or Treat, 2007 or 2009, depending on if you go on by the production year or the release year, is an anthology movie set on Halloween in a small town in Ohio.
I'm going to say it's near Columbus. Why not?
Okay. How near? Would you say walkable or?
No. Public transit, short drive, I would say.
Short drive on public transit? Am I the bus driver?
You can be.
This is we're in a busman's holiday situation. I'm not a bus driver in real life, but I would be if I was a bus driver.
God, I wish you were.
Do you know, I dreamed of being a truck driver when I was a teenager. I really thought, I don't know if I just...
Hookers and speed.
Yeah, I think I internalized a lot of Big Trouble in Little China and was like, this could be my life.
That's the life for me.
Yeah. You know what old Jamie Carruthers says at a time like this? Get off your milk and drink your horse.
Give me some homespun alternative universe Jamie is a trucker wisdom. This is a fucking great synopsis. I've got to say.
Well, yeah, you fucking derailed me with your fucking interruptions and sidebars. All right,
well, let me definitively find out where Trick or Treat is set for you. We'll just Warren Valley, Ohio.
Okay, I'm going to start again. So, Trick or Treat is an anthology movie set in a small suburb in Ohio called Warren Valley.
Nailed it.
It's a tale weaved together of 4 or 5 stories, depending on what you consider a story, that all have to do with Halloween traditions and what might happen to you should you choose to not uphold them. There are a couple of different stories, and we'll get into them more individually after this break.
Whoa, holy shit. I guess that's why they call it Phantom Power.
Oh, I'm back. Are you back?
I am so back. Back with a vengeance, like Die Hard or someone else who's back.
Charlie
with a vengeance.
Starkweather.
This podcast, Sam, this spooky podcast is brought to you by the spookiest of record labels.
That's a contentious statement, but yes, the
Red
podcast Scare. Ooh. Podcast is brought to you by the scariest man in America, Toby Jegg, who runs Red Scare Industries. Great record label, wonderful back catalogue, always releasing fresh, hot slabs of delicious Halloween-infused punk rock.
It isn't.
By the time I say this, that might be true.
But if you want a quick, spooky punk rock recommendation, I would recommend listening to everything by the Lillingtons, available on Red Scare at redscare.net.
That's a great shout. That's a very strong recommendation. I'm going to recommend Won't Stay Dead. Spooky punk rock from Chicago. Superb band. Very much worth checking out. New to the label. Not new to the world. Don't know. But great. Really great band. Seen them live a couple of times. Love that shit.
Okay, so let's talk about Trick or Treat. How do you want to do this? Do you want to go story by story? Do you want to flit around?
Let's just do it however we fucking like. We make the rules.
All right. Okay. Well, I wasn't asking them. I was asking you. But okay.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
My first note is that the main Trick or Treat theme, the theme music, the DVD menu music, and the main theme sounds like somebody ripping off Richard Band's music for Reanimator, which is ripped off from Psycho. Isn't that weird?
God, I'm so far off being as cool as you. I was going to say it just sounded like Casper the Friendly Ghost.
So the Psycho music is like dun 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 dun, and then the Reanimator music is dun dun do 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 do, and then this is like dun dun do 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 do. It's just like it's the same, and I love it. It's like it's just one rip-off removed from one of the greatest rip-offs of one of the greatest themes.
There's nothing wrong with any of what you just did. That's all wonderful, and long may it continue. I just think, keep ripping that off if it fucking works.
Yeah.
I think making derivative music for horror movies should not in any way be penalized. I just
Absolutely
think it's the only time it should be penalized if it's completely wrong for the movie that it's in. And this, it works really well. Music-wise, from start to finish, I got no notes on this. I think it sounds great.
I had to go and look and be like, did Richard Band do this music? Because surely the only person shameless enough to rip off Richard Band is Richard
himself.
Band. Yeah. But no, the music was actually done by the ghost from Ghostwatch.
The ghost from Ghostwatch?
Yeah. The music was done by Douglas Pipes, the ghost in Ghostwatch. It's called Pipes. Seasonally appropriate reference there. But it's not really the ghost from
Ghostwatch. A bit of
Ghostwatch.
Unpacking for me.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Have you not seen Ghostwatch?
I don't know.
It was
What
like
is
a reality ghost hunting show with Michael Burke and Yvette Fielding in like the early 90s. And it went on TV and it scared the shit out of everyone because everyone thought it was real because it was set up like a real thing with real people.
Oh, cool.
But it's not real. It's just real good.
Spoilers.
Okay, I want to start by being negative and talking about why I don't think Sam is good.
Go on then, moody pants.
So the whole shtick of this movie is about like Halloween traditions and not upholding Halloween traditions, and the idea that not upholding Halloween traditions could somehow negatively impact your life, presumably by ending it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I buy into that, and I buy into obviously all of the traditions that they sort of reference are real traditions. Obviously the giving candy, the keeping your jack-o'-lantern lit, and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But like the character of Sam has no place. He's just a made-up little creep.
Yep.
I don't think that they ever really suitably set him up as a character that should exist in this world.
No.
I think a lot about him versus, say, Jack Skellington. And fair dues, Jack Skellington gets to sing how great he is at Halloween and has an entire city of people being like, this is the Halloween guy. He's the guy. So, like, you obviously have to buy into that when you're watching The Night Before Christmas.
Sure.
But you just have to be like, oh, yeah, the Halloween guy. I know you. In order to buy into it in this movie. And I don't like that. I don't think it works.
Yes. Well, Skellington is a protagonist with an actual plot around him. And this is a Gribbly who attacks a man. So, yeah, it's...
He attacks a few people.
Yeah, listen, on a good day, it feels Gremlins-esque. On a bad day, it feels like they needed a Gribbly. And they just thought, hey, this looks cool. And what if we rip the mask off and it's Pumpkinhead but rubbish? That feels like what happened there. I don't hate it. I think it's playing to the part of the audience that wants that whole tense fight scene at that point in the movie. And I agree. He could be woven in a little bit more to the fabric of the film, maybe as a puppet master type figure who's making all of this Halloween mischief happen. But he's not. That doesn't happen. And it does feel a little bit weird.
Yeah, he's just kind of there, sort of kicking around in the background for some of the other stories. And I don't really
I like
rate
that.
it. I like it. I'm just not fully bought in on Sam.
No. And it's only an easy sell if you're just happy to be like, oh, okay, he's now scrapping with Cranston or whatever.
Yeah.
Not Cranston. What's the fucking guy's
Cox.
name? Cox.
How could you forget Cox?
How could I forget Cox? I never have until this day. So, yeah, I think it's maybe just a move for those guys. And that's fine. You know, they need their hoots and hollers as much as we need our shits and swallows.
Yeah. My secondary issue with Sam is that I don't think he is consistent with how he treats people who have broken the sacred Halloween tradition code or whatever.
Yep. I think if we're being generous, he is mischievous, taciturn, and difficult to predict. I think if we're being a little bit more critical, he just fucking does whatever gets the story to the next bit.
Leslie Bibb's character in the opening story.
Yeah.
Does everything right and then like turns her pumpkin off early and gets a fucking lolly to the mouth as payment for it. Whereas Brian Cox, not Cranston, Brian Cox gives Sam, like, neglects Halloween for his entire adult life.
Yep.
And then gives Sam a little bit of candy that he didn't even like. It wasn't like, this is good candy, you should enjoy this, mate. It was like, this is shit that I don't want to eat.
Yeah.
And gets to live for it. I mean, obviously he gets his comeuppance moments later, but...
Yeah, it's a mixed message. He killed a busload of kids, too.
Yeah, on Halloween. And that's why he doesn't like Halloween, right?
Yeah.
I do like that, like, his sort of Scrooge arc is he gets Scrooged.
Yeah.
And then it's not enough. It's not enough to have been Scrooged and to be happy the next day. Like, the people that he fucked over still are like, oh, cool, he's a Halloween guy now. I guess I'll go bank with him and his little frog mate. Like, it's... This might be a mixed metaphor, I'm not sure.
Scrooge, A Christmas Carol, Muppet Christmas Carol, and Halloween all in one sentence. Not me. Pretty good.
Yeah, it's not enough that he gets the Scrooge arc. He still has to pay for his previous crimes when he was a dick. And I rate that.
I think that's all great. Yeah, all of that. It's such a wonderful story as well. His whole, you know, the deeds of his past coming out and how they... I mean, in my opinion, the whole movie interweaves these stories incredibly well. But that one in particular bears lovely rotten fruit by the end, and it's really good fun to see that come full circle. You're right. It's in an anthology movie with intertwining storylines, you often don't get one satisfactory resolution. You get 3 or 4 smaller moments of, oh, that was nice. You know, like you said, Tales from the Crypt style. But this has a real satisfying enmeshed ending for me, and I think it's all because of that central storyline.
One of the highlights of the whole movie for me is when we see sort of Dylan Baker's point of view of Krieg in the window being bodied by
Yeah.
Sam, and then we see that again from like the other point of view later. That's
Yeah,
fun.
I always enjoy that. That's always fun. Yeah, any kind of like tip of the hat to the subjective nature of human perception, especially in a movie where there's loads of stuff happening behind the veil. That's
Yeah.
always really fun, and it's really cleverly done in this. It's also kind of funny. There's a lot of humor in this, a lot of fun. That's why it fits so well in a Halloween, movie marathon for me. And it's pulled off in a way that is a real tip of the hat to slasher movies, I think, that particular moment. It has real Scream vibes. There's a lot. I mean, obviously, this leaps around all kinds of fun aspects from all kinds of horror subgenres, but the parts where it's referencing humorous slashers are absolutely pitch perfect.
If it was me assembling this as a feature, I wouldn't put that story last. I think it reminds me too much of, in Creepshow, the original Creepshow 1982,
Yeah.
the final story in that anthology is They're Creeping Up on You, which is a guy, not unlike Sam Russo, in his all-white, hermetically sealed room,
Yep.
slowly driven insane by the fact that bugs keep creeping in and stuff keeps making it into the fucking room.
Look at all this shit.
Ultimately, that's a story of one guy in a white room.
Yeah.
And this is sort of quite similar. And I think it is on purpose. It is, I think, pointedly referencing that as like the narrative. Not the narrative, but like the placement in Creepshow versus the placement here. But I just think I don't want to spend the final 20 minutes of my movie just with one guy, even if that guy is Cox.
Yeah, I don't like the long extended fight. That's the only bit in the movie where I was like, here we fucking go. It's the only part where I switched off and didn't enjoy myself. And maybe if that particular thread isn't the final thread, it's a slightly different situation. There's always going to be that like fight, but
yeah, and I think like if
only
it's
bummer for
not,
me.
and then the stinger at the end is that the bus kids rock up to his house, but we've had like, I don't know, another story of distance between that, then it becomes much more of a powerful sting at the end. Do you know?
True. Yeah, true.
Obviously, I'm not good enough to work on Superman or any of those other movies, so
You're not good enough to be mates with the guy who wrote Superman.
it's true. I didn't get to direct any Godzilla movies, let
That's
alone
also true.
the worst one.
Just twisting the knife away. Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said for how these kind of movies are constructed and how they're plaited and braided together. And it's there's a lot of ifs, ands, buts, etc. And I kind of just like to accept this one as it was because I know that what I'm watching isn't made solely for me. And there's a lot of stuff in this movie that leans. Yeah, I know that's something you don't seem to recognize.
Why would they make something for someone else?
An audience of one. The world's most prolific viewer. I think you do deserve preferential treatment at this point. But I just think like I'm trying to absorb it from the point of view that this is for somebody else. This isn't for me. And that was really the only bit where I thought, oh yeah, this is for other guys. And the rest of it I thought was really tickling a lot of my little sweet spots. It felt very. Yes, it's cartoonish but it's also gory. It's also horrific in a lot of parts, and it kind of creeps up on you a little bit. You forget you're watching something that's actually kind of graphic.
I think that like obviously there is gore and there is swearing and there is quite a lot of violence, but tonally, it feels to me like the spookier end of those episodes of Are You Afraid of the Dark? Like if you think about how scary that fucking Zebo episode is.
Hell yeah, yeah, it's a classic. Yeah.
You can sort of feel that energy here. It feels like there's a very Nickelodeon energy, and like
Definitely.
I say, there is more adult stuff here and more very visible death.
It's very sexy.
It is quite sexy. I mean,
Lot of fucking.
Can we maybe jump over to the werewolf story?
Of course we can.
So that's my favorite story in the whole show.
I would have put money on that. Yeah.
I think it's great. I love how they nail on from the very beginning what the twist is going to be. But if you're not picking that up, it could just be because they're all dressed as like fairy tale characters or whatever, and she's definitely the Virgin is definitely Little Red Riding Hood.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy all of that. and all of the sort of virgin talk and all of the sort of deception and the vampire character. I have an issue with something about that I'll talk about in a little bit, but like I enjoy all of that.
Yeah.
But what I really want to talk about is the werewolf transformations. What do you think about the werewolf transformations?
I think it's fantastic. It's I don't want to say it's some of my favorite, but the idea of it I think is brilliant, that you're just ripping off this like human clothing and revealing horrible, bloody, sinewy hair underneath.
So I have a real issue with it.
Yeah.
Like I find it really hard to enjoy despite how much I'm enjoying it.
Okay.
Because I'm constantly thinking, what happens when they change back? Do they just put the skin back on?
It puts the skin back on.
Do you know what I mean? Like how we see them like towards the end. It's not even that much later in the evening, I assume.
Yeah.
Because like Krieg is still giving candy out, so the kids are still out. Like
Jamie, it must just be magic, okay? I don't think there's logistics involved here.
they just grow new skin in like 15 minutes.
It's just magic. The skin just like back over them. Their snouts shrink, their humps disappear, and the skin comes back on.
I like to think that they put the skin back on like they're getting dressed. Do you know, like when you...
Yeah.
I don't know how many one-night stands you've had in your life, but do you know when you like sheepishly get dressed after a one-night stand and sort of slink out? Like
I do this every day. It doesn't matter what I've done the night before. I sheepishly get dressed and sneak out of the house. Yeah.
So I sort of imagine them doing that around this sort of wooded area. And then like...
sort of looking at each other like,
yeah.
not good.
That's what I imagine. And like maybe when they put the skin back on, it like fuses back together like in a cool sort of magic way. But I
then
can't
imagine if like, oh whoops, I've put that other girl's leg on. They have to swap it over and it's all awkward. Oh, here's your breast. Thanks. I wondered where that was. That kind of thing.
That's just a thing that stops me from fully being immersed in that special effect. And I love the effect. I love the obviously the practicalness of it. There's obviously real wolf animatronics and like real body makeup stuff, and then also some CG thrown in there, but never too much, never so much that it's like. And when they sort of dip their toe in the idea of too much CGI, they manage to pull it back in just the right moment with a quick cut to a practical effect. It's really good. But
yeah, there's somebody at the helm of that saying, too much, keep it practical. Too much, keep it practical, and I respect that.
I feel like Mike Dougherty is good for that. Obviously, later films, maybe less so. There was very little practical effects in Godzilla King of the Monsters.
An all animatronic Godzilla.
Yeah, all right. We'll just go to Japan for those, right?
Yeah. We've got plenty of those, but he wanted to make one that was 4,000 feet tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like your take on it. I think it never fails to boggle my mind what you won't suspend your disbelief for versus what you will. How do these werewolves get dressed again in their human skin? But maybe it's a one-time... Oh, no, it's not, because we see them later, don't we?
Yeah.
I like it. It's not my favorite thread of the movie.
I like it too. I find it hard to be fully bought into because I'm like... I'm just thinking about the getting dressed bit. It doesn't need to be explained.
It'd be really fucking cool if they just kind of draped all this horribly shredded, like overstretched bullshit skin all over themselves and just walked back into town for the rest of Halloween.
That would be...
Big, like, saggy eye holes and shit. That'd be great.
Yeah. Like, it takes them a few days for it to, like...
tighten up,
slurp back up. That would be the dream.
That'd be really fun, yeah.
If that doesn't exist, that's going into the Final Transmission Uncle Larry movie.
Very good. I'm into that.
The other thing in that story that annoys me, and that's my favorite story in this show, and I do like it a lot, and I think it's just really fun, is that the Dylan Baker character, it sort of awkwardly like ends his storyline. Obviously, his like short story bit with his son and the pumpkin carving and the killing the neighbors and the twist there is that his son knew that he was a serial killer the whole time and blah blah blah. Yeah. Which I like. I enjoy all of that also. But
fun little vignette,
But like that doesn't really end. It sort of ends on like a sting, and then it's like to bring his character back as this sort of predatory, sexual, horrible type person. The idea that like the school principal is using his Halloween costume to have sex with young girls is a bit of a bridge too far for me, maybe. But
really? Oh, you've never worked in a school.
It's true, I haven't.
Yeah. I see it as a little bit of a shoehorn job. Like, it was enough that he was a secret serial killer with his son. That was already a big bridge.
Yeah, like it doesn't need to be him. It could be there are other guys in this small town, right? Other sexual predators can exist in this small town.
Yeah, I mean, it makes him truly despicable to be both a serial killer who's like grooming his son to do the same, and a rapey vampire guy on Halloween, and also the principal. Which I like. I kind of like they're just ladling on layers of just disgust for this character. Because we do really enjoy. Well, we don't really enjoy his death that much because it's kind of off screen.
It's fun to see him, this character that we know is a despicable piece of shit, sort of get his sort of whimpery, begging for his life comeuppance. But I just think it's weak. It doesn't need to be him. It could be literally any other dude, and it would be the same.
Yeah, unless it really advances the anthology story forward to have it be him, which it doesn't really. No one's going to be like, oh, it's a different guy. Why couldn't it be the principal? Whereas the other way around, you kind of can level that criticism at it. Yeah. Yeah,
I also think that he doesn't look sexy enough in his little sexy vampire outfit.
He looks too much like Ed Helms.
Yeah, he's got the sad man chin.
Yeah. Yep, sad man chin. Scatman Crothers' brother. He's
That's me.
He's fine in this, I think. He does a pretty solid job. I think Anna Paquin, I really like. I think Anna Paquin has this familiarity about her face where you just feel like you fucking know her. Did you have that experience, or is it just me? Because maybe I do know someone who looks exactly like her. I don't know. But she's
I know
got
what you mean.
Such a sense of like palpable familiarity.
Yeah. Like people throw around terms like girl next door or whatever, but I feel like she actually has a girl next door quality, which is like she looks like she could live in your town.
Do you know what? I don't think I've ever fully understood the meaning of what people mean when they say girl next door until you just explained it to me. I thought it was just like, I'm not going to say what I thought it was, but like, is that what it is? She's like the every girl, the familiar. Oh, okay. In that case, Anna Paquin has a very girl next door quality.
Jumping around again, I want to get into briefly my thoughts on the school bus story.
Yeah, hit me with your thoughts on that.
But before I do that, I want to talk about the interweaving of the elements.
Yeah.
I think that I don't like that they are interweaved in the way that they are. I think I prefer story, interstitial story, interstitial story, interstitial credits.
Wow. Okay.
Because when that happens in, say, Creepshow 2 or Tales from the Dark Side, when you hit a story that you don't really like, you know another one is around the corner. Whereas when you know that the stories are weaving in and out, and like they kind of don't. They kind of sit standard, but some of them do weave in and out, and that one does. The bus. I think you end with that one, and then the thing happens with Krieg and the bus kids at his house.
Sure.
Towards the end, I think that's how you do that. That's how you
just bring back one sting.
My biggest issue, I quite like that story, really, generally. I like the idea that like it feels very Creepshow, it feels very Tales from the Crypt, it feels very Are You Afraid of the Dark? Like
it's nasty.
It does feel very nasty, and not in like a twist, like it's not like a Twilight Zone twist.
Yeah.
Which kind of like the werewolf one is, for example.
Sure.
Feels a bit more Twilight Zone-y. Whereas this is much more like a you fucked me over, so I'm gonna fuck you over twist, and that feels really satisfying in a nasty way, in a fun way.
Yeah, and it's a very dark story arc.
Yeah,
the whole thing's dark as hell.
But my issue with it is those sort of like pre-70s Halloween masks in reality are some of the most terrifying things you'll ever see in your life. And in this movie, the contrived fake ones that they've made are pretty bad, like pretty boring. There are a couple of them that work for me. There's a clown, there's like a paper bag.
You got a skeleton.
The devil, the devil one, which is like at the top of a cloak.
I think they're all fucking great. I don't want to, argue about it, but the vampire is fucking brilliant. Proper classic vamp work. And, upside doll head or whatever the fuck that is, I can take or leave. The clown is fucking horrifying.
Yeah, the clown's scary, and the paper bag one is scary. I think my issue with the vampire one is that, like, why wouldn't that just be makeup that you would put on someone's face? Like, why would
Oh,
you
but
make
those-
a papier-mâché mask for them?
I think those old-fashioned vampire masks are some of the best, though, because you can still get those. It's kind of a classic, right? It's plastic now, obviously, which kind of sucks, but it's such a instantly recognizable... it carries a menace, I think, because it's so innocent. Those old... Especially the modern ones that are just... You get... what do you get? You get Dracula, Frankenstein, and Wolfman, all plastic.
Yeah.
If I see 3 kids in those, I'm convinced they're going to murder me. Like, on Halloween night, if I see 3 kids skipping along in those masks, I'm going to get murdered. There's something very stylized and ominous about them if you see them out in the wild. So I really like the vampire one. I thought it was cool as hell.
Okay. I mean,
But again, that's a personal
I'm not going to take
thing, isn't
anything
it?
away from you.
All of these masks are going to resonate with different people for different reasons. Like the clown is always going to be scary to anyone who's scared of clowns, but it's a really well done scary clown. It's very Tim Curry's It. It's it's way more in that ballpark than a lot of modern clowns. Yeah, I mean it's a busload of children with learning difficulties in fucking very scary Halloween masks who end up drowning in a quarry. That is black as pitch when it comes to a storyline, and yet somehow at the end I'm still laughing.
Yeah. I think
Great,
like
it's really well done.
the production value that they get out of like the half-drained quarry set with the bus sort of poking out of the water, like
quite good.
upended, it's really good. Again, it feels very Nickelodeon, Goosebumpsy. Are You Afraid of the Dark? Like it never feels real. You're not
But
looking
in
at
the
it
right
going
way, right? Yeah, it feels like a really small set, and that doesn't make you think, oh, fucking hell, it's a set. Like, of course it's a set, and that's what's great about it. That's part of the fun.
Yeah.
I love that, and I love, to your point about the anthology, there is part of me watching this that's like, fuck, this is like Skeleton Crew. It's so Kingian, and it's such a short story collection, a lost Stephen King short story collection. But then the interweaving is both what makes it not that, which is to the detriment, I think, but also it's what makes it sort of more compelling viewing, because you can't really, I mean, you can zone out of it and you can miss a lot of the connective tissue, but some of the satisfaction in this being a bit of a one-watch wonder is in that satisfaction. It's in the kind of wry amusement of the connections that are light, and then the sort of, oh wow, that's actually really clever, of the connections that are more difficult and involved. So I think I would err on the side of enjoying that connective tissue, because it keeps you in the story, it keeps you in the movie. Because bite-sized horror vignettes are quite easy to kind of zone in and out of, I think, and I think there's a time and a place for that for sure. But I kind of respected that this was crafted in a way that was like, no, you're not going to miss this old man because he comes back and he's going to be old and he's going to be creepy and he's going to have a shotgun, and stuff like that works for me. I think it works on a narrative level, which is something that I need in order to invest. And bringing the kids back all just like covered in mud and all fucked up and scary and ghostly on the doorstep. That was a fucking kind of a bold move. That's a dark old tale.
It's the darkest one of the lot, I would say.
Yeah.
The murdering kids with Halloween candy stuff, and like him not being dead, and kind of having like a slapstick moment with the serial killer trying to hold a conversation while the person that he's killed isn't actually dead and stuff like that.
I thought it was really fun. Yeah,
I think it's fun, but it doesn't feel as dark as it is.
True. And I think there's something very deliberate there. If you're going to cast, the kid from Bad Santa as the chocolate puking kid, that's deliberate. They're not. It's because he's such a pitiable. As an actor, I think the roles that this kid portrayed in that period of time, you feel so bad for him. You don't want anything bad to happen to him, but he's always doing something that kind of makes you want to kill him. And I think that's good casting. Yeah. He's a great little actor, and his puking is fantastic. He's puking rivers of chocolate. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I think
it is the kid from Bad Santa, right? I haven't got that wrong.
I don't think I've ever seen Bad Santa.
Whoa, holy crap! I got no one to fact check me.
But I think that, like, speaking of Kingian, he's cast because he looks a little bit like, bears a passing resemblance to the cod liver oil pie eating kid from Stand By Me.
Boom baba, boom baba. They call him Lard Ass Hogan.
But yeah, I think he's cast because he bears a passing resemblance to him.
Yeah, could be. Yeah. I like Brett Kelly. I think he's fucking superb in everything he touches. I would hope that he would grow up to be a wonderful character actor, but he's probably just stopped acting and become an accountant, if he's got any sense. He hasn't. He's in a TV show called Family Law, which has run up until 2025. Good cast in this. No one really fucks it up. I think, obviously, we got top line. You've got some heavy hitters. You've got Brian Cox, Anna Paquin, Dylan Baker. These are not small names. But nobody, I didn't see anybody and think, you're not doing a very good job. Like, all the sorority werewolves are wholly convincing. Great little ensemble group there. I don't
know if I think they're convincing, but I think that they're fun, and I think that they deliver dialogue that like no human would say, because they're perfect.
Yeah, because they're fucking werewolves. But they're doing it. They're pitching it just right. I think maybe that's strong directing and good chemistry. Just coming together there. Great fun, and I think a lot of this movie kind of lives or dies by the quality of the unknown or the lesser known performers in it. Because if you've got a couple of big heavy hitters and then a slew of junk hacks who just can't even bumble their way through a scene, you've got a movie that no one gives a fuck about. But everyone is pulling their weight. Everyone seems to get the spirit of the movie. Even Anna Paquin seems to be doing this thing where she's kind of over theatrical, like she's kind of next level in her performance, and that's got to be a deliberate level of hamminess because of who she is and what she's doing. And
absolutely,
we know her catalog, we know what she does, so I think it works really well. I have very little to say about this movie that is critical, to be honest. I just think it's a fun romp. There's a Trick or Treat 2, right?
No, they're trying to make it, and have been trying to make it for donkey's decades.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a million of these. Is that there's All Hallows Eve? Is that a
All Hallows Eve is the sort of precursor to Terrifier, so that has an art short in it and stuff.
I enjoyed the line "Charlie Brown's an asshole."
Yeah, I don't think that kid would say and believe that.
That's another bridge too far for Jamie.
Absolutely. This is like a sweet kid.
He's not a sweet kid. He's a fucking serial killer.
Yeah, but we don't know that at this point. We're supposed to believe that he's a sweet, innocent child.
Yeah, well, I think it's supposed to tip our suspicion that something's up when he shouts that Charlie Brown's an asshole out the window of his house.
I don't understand why the dad, Dylan Baker, in that situation is like, keep your voice down. Like, it would be less conspicuous if he was just like, yes, I'll be up there in a minute. I don't need to whisper about this. Like, no one can see into the garden. I'm just making it more conspicuous by trying to shoo this away. And then also, like, the weird implication that he's going to kill his son, and then he doesn't. Like, I don't understand any of that either, really.
I think it's just the early part of the movie trying to keep you off balance, and it's a little MacGuffin, little red herring.
Yeah, I don't dislike it. Again, I'm not fully bought in on that.
Yeah, I hear you. There's a lot of stuff here where if you're not in a good time, just Halloween Ripper mood, you could be like, oh, why is he doing that? But I think if you're leaning into the season, maybe you've got pumpkin spice on your breath and cobwebs on your breasts. You're just fucking going with the flow.
I don't have cobwebs on my breasts. I dust them far too often.
A little bit too far from Halloween for that.
All right, Sam, well, why don't we take a final break, come back, and give our final thoughts on the movie Trick or Treat from 2007/2009, directed by Mike Dougherty.
Let's do it.
Will you give it up, man? Nobody's out there. We're alone. Oh no, there's somebody out there. I'm picking up all this crosstalk.
Speaking of spouts,
I'm back.
Come on, Jamie, give us your final thoughts and rate the movie Trick or Treat from 2007 or no.
/2009. I mean, I like it a lot. I don't think I hold it to the same level of esteem as a lot of people. I think maybe also this is part of my sort of bristling against a popular thing. But I think like the hot topic-ification of Sam and this movie by extension does rub me up the wrong way. Yeah. And it's not the movie's fault. Presumably it's Mike Dougherty trying to make a couple of quid off the back of the fact that this movie didn't do an awful lot. I'm assuming that he holds the rights for it based on his fairly fraught relationship with Warner's, presumably. These are all presumptions that I'm making. But based on him having a fraught relationship with Warner's and somehow still having the capacity to announce that they're trying to make a sequel and have been for a decade plus.
Yeah. I mean, you got to acknowledge the role of the consumer here. I mean, this is people with an alternative bent to their media consumption tastes, wanting the same things that normal people have, a little souvenir of the things that they like. And they're buying a little gribbly guy, little plastic man, to fill the hole in their plastic hearts. And that's fine. Like, that's fine. That's the backbone of modern capitalism. So let them buy it.
I think my issue is that it just doesn't feel earned in terms of the character. Like, I have no issue with Hot Topic being full to bursting with Jack Skellington's and Invader Zim's and
who?
Invader Zim. So Jodin Vasquez, who's a comic artist that I like, had a cartoon in the sort of late 90s, early 2000s called Invader Zim, which is about an alien from a planet, part of like a invasion force, who is a really shit invader and is sent by the people who are controlling the invasion to a stupid planet that they never intended to conquer called Earth. And he sort of lands here and is trying to like blend in but badly, and it's just really fucking funny, really good and really funny. And like Gurr, his like little robot mate, is like a very Hot Topic-ified character.
Got you.
And like Adventure Time and all of that, I have no issue with all of that. It's literally just with Sam really that I have the issue with. And it's not the fault of the consumers, because obviously you want to have a cool thing. It's not the fault of the rights holders, because they want to just make some money. It's just the thing that I personally have an issue with.
Yeah.
I think the issue
next
is
tattoo's not going to be Sam.
No. It's not.
If you went on a date with somebody and they were like, "Oh, you like horror? I love horror. I've got a really cool horror tattoo," and they whipped out their Trick or Treat Sam, how would you react?
I mean, I wouldn't react badly, but overall, I like this movie. There are things that take me out of it. There are things that take me out of it in a way that I enjoy, like the werewolves getting dressed, and the thinking about that scenario.
Yep.
But it just means that I can't quite enjoy it to its fullest in the moment, because I'm already thinking about a funny thing that's happening in my brain later.
Sure.
But it's really quite well directed. I think that like for a guy that has made a couple of shorts and has worked on some movies with a director like Bryan Singer, who obviously pre-Scandal was, I would say, a very good director. Made one of my all-time favorite movies, The Usual Suspects.
With another squeaky clean actor, Kevin Spacey.
A film that I know the twist of and have known the twist of forever, and I can still watch it.
Still pays off, yeah.
Every 4 months or something.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a banger. So, like, being around him, I think there is a sort of Spielbergian sensibility here. This feels like those sort of 80s cocaine-inflected, like, auteurs, like your Spielberg's. I mean, I'm not saying that Spielberg did cocaine, but, like, that sort of feeling, the 80s
But I'm
stuff.
not saying he didn't.
Yeah. Like John Landis or George Lucas. Like those sort of like very mainstream feeling directors that can do something that feels really mainstream even when it isn't.
Yeah.
They can
I'd even go as far as say it feels like there's a few different voices behind the lens here deliberately. I think he's deliberately chucking himself in slightly different directions to give you more of that anthology feel like you used to get with multi-director horror anthologies back in the day.
I think that's fair. And like it's really fun. It just never necessarily elevates itself above and beyond fun for me.
Sure.
So, I mean, I'm going to give it 4 out of 7 bites of the spiky lollipop.
That's pretty good. 4 out of 7.
Yeah. I think it's fine.
50%.
Yeah, I think it's
63%.
It's good, not great. I feel like within the niche that it exists in, there is very little else. And there's a lot of stuff that isn't as good,
Mm.
and only a few things that are better in the very specific. This is a Halloween movie niche. I
Yeah.
feel like as we become more self-aware, since probably around the mid-2000s, people are like, oh, if I make a Halloween movie, people will watch it at Halloween. It doesn't matter how good it is.
Yeah. It's
We
the
make
same
a
with
Christmas
releasing
movie.
a Christmas song.
Yeah.
It's a dying art.
I mean, there's a reason that like there have been no new Christmas songs in the canon since the 90s, apart from maybe that Darkness song, and that's it.
Yeah. No absolute showstoppers that literally change culture
Yeah.
for a specific like month almost every single year. Yeah. You're right. And that reason is we don't know.
Yeah, I think like there's a cynical play to be like, I'm going to make a Halloween movie. I'm going to make a Christmas song.
Yeah.
And this doesn't feel cynical. And that's one of the best things about it is it doesn't feel like I'm
Agreed.
making a Halloween movie, so you watch it at Halloween, regardless of the quality. Like so many of those. Hubie Halloween isn't bad. I like Hubie Halloween.
I'm putting this firmly in the Hubie Halloween category.
Yeah. But I mean, Hubie Halloween, I think it feels cynical. It feels like I'm making a cynical grab for a Halloween movie. I'm Adam
does it?
Sandler.
I don't know. I find it hard to see anything Adam Sandler does as cynical, knowing a little bit about how he works. I just think it's a stone that wasn't it's an untoned stone. Let's turn it. Like he wants
It's
to
an
make a Halloween
untoned
movie.
stone.
It's an unstoned gone, gonna go bone and chone it. Yep, that's what they say, man.
That's what they say. Fool me once,
So-
shame on once, fool me twice.
Stone the bone, phew, spare the rod, baby. I think Hubie Halloween is not a movie that you should fucking die on a hill for, but it is an entertaining little movie that fits fairly nicely into a Halloween canon. And I put this
think that-
in that oeuvre.
I think that Hubie Halloween is a cynical movie, but a nice one at the end of it. It feels
Nicely cynical.
It transcends the cynicism of
Right.
it. But this
Right.
doesn't feel cynical at all to me. This feels like a dude who just loves Halloween wanted to make the movie that he wanted to make.
Yeah, and it avoids the pitfalls of, overly fetishizing a specific era or, doing the whole VHS thing. It just feels like a clean version of that. It feels like an honest, clean tribute to lots of good stuff about horror set at Halloween.
Yeah.
So, with that in mind, I find it pretty hard to criticize because it sets out to do a specific job and it does it well, which is one of my big markers for success in horror movies.
Yeah, I think the thing that is cynical, or the reason that I don't like the level of merchandising around Trick or Treat and Sam specifically, is that feels cynical. That makes it feel cynical to me.
It cheapens the art.
Yeah, which again I don't feel with Nightmare Before Christmas or whatever,
Sure.
because I think that I don't know, there's something already incredibly commercial about Tim Burton and Tim Burton movies and Henry Selick movies to a lesser extent, but obviously they're related in that specific movie. So
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm going with that, but it does feel cynical to me. The merchandising, the heavily intense merchandising around this specifically. All right, give us a vote.
I'm going to rate this movie 6.5 Anna Paquins out of 10, which feels stingy, but I'm just holding back a little bit because it's not a movie that I'll run back to watch again. But I think it's fun, it's trashy, it's great scene setting, mood setting Halloween fare. I really don't have many bad things to say about it at all. I couldn't pick it apart on first and only watch. And I think there's something to be said for a movie that helps you ease into the spirit of Halloween, that also does all those things we've already talked about, to make you feel like you're really getting deep into October now. You've got some real nasty, you've got some body horror, you've got some gore, you've got some slasher, you've got kind of like a really nice warm-up drive-in movie theater thing happening here, where you're getting greased up for everything to come.
It's like a little buffet, isn't it? It's like a little picky tea of
Yep, smorgasbord.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm into it. I really enjoyed it. I think there's very much a place for this in most horror fans. Halloween buffet, and
it's hard to hate. It's hard to
Yeah.
hate.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you hate it, you hate a lot of things about a lot of cool stuff. So
Yeah.
maybe try something else. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very, very fun, and I think it's a pretty solid Halloween smash.
Yeah, I think just to reiterate, I think the real star is the overriding tone. It's just
Yeah.
a tone
Balanced.
that really balances between like the nasty, horrible gore, violence side and the sort of goofy fun. Like it really threads the needle quite beautifully. And that's
Yeah, nothing's overpowering. It just ticks all those boxes pretty effortlessly. Or feels effortless, which is, obviously an enormous amount of hard work.
Of course. And that's the thing that makes you wonder why it took so long for Mike Dougherty to have another movie.
Or just to get this off the shelf. Yeah. It's a mystery confined to the coffers of time.
Yeah.
Ask him next time you see him. Why didn't you ask him at the Q&A?
Because I don't ask questions at the Q&A.
Why didn't you whisper it to the guy next to you to ask him?
Yeah, it's a great question. Because I didn't want to get shouted at by John Landis.
Yeah, you do. That's one of your kinks.
Yeah, I love to be yelled at by a very famous film director that has caused the death of 2 small Vietnamese children.
It's a pretty niche kink. I didn't say it was a common one, but listen, no, I'm not yucking your yum, as Ben Small would say. Well, come on in, Jamie. Why don't you tell the people how they can get involved? Jesus, time for them to pull their weight.
Well, there are loads of ways that you can support the podcast. The best way is financially. Obviously, this is a thing that we do for fun, but it isn't free. So if you were to subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/final transmission for just $5 or the subsequent amount of pounds per month, you would get unedited, uncut video and podcast versions of this episode and many, many others like it.
We
That
always
would-
look fucked. I speak for myself. I always
You-
look fucked. You always look lovely.
If you start at the beginning of those videos and you work your way forward, you will see.
Way better to do it in reverse. Start with this episode and then watch all the way back to episode 1. You see Jamie go through some hard times.
Yeah. Fucking hell, he's let himself go, hasn't he?
So confusing for people. Yeah, you should do that though. Chuck us a couple of bucks. Follow us on social media at FT Horror Show on your chosen platform of scrolling. And you can always just walk around and tell people about the podcast. Word of mouth, the old
Word of mouth.
organic method of sharing stuff. That's always nice.
Yeah,
Thank
the
you. Do
oral
that, please.
tradition, as we call it.
The oral tradition. That's definitely what we call it. Yes, indeed. That's
We-
what
there's
call
a-
that.
We have a different oral tradition at the Final Transmission podcast. And if you want to hear all about that, you have to stay around for the Patreon.
Yep.
Also, finally, and not penultimately, because it'd be finally.
Finally and penultimately and transmissionarily, what were you going to say?
I think the second best way that you can support the podcast is by
Mhm.
going to wherever you're listening to this, making sure you're subscribed and have automatic downloads turned on, and that you rate and also review it in the platform where you listen.
That's how it's done. Do
Yeah.
that. Jobs
And
are
if
good.
you can do one or all of those things, you'll be transcended to the level of
Goat.
Uncle Larry's bud.
Goat of Larry. Well done. Thank you for listening to the Final Transmission podcast.
Yeah. Cool. Bye.